Article 12 of the Anne Arundel County Code. These are administrative hearings and by nature are informal, which means you are not hampered by rules of evidence. However, please be aware that you are testifying under oath. Each party will have their opportunity to state their case. After stating, they may ask questions of the other party. Please do not interrupt. You will be given ample time to talk. In many cases, we are aware there's a history. You may briefly tell the commission about the history, but please focus on the issue at hand. After each case, the commission will have open deliberations during which the public may not participate. If the commissioners have additional questions, you may answer. No further information will be heard and a decision will be rendered. This decision is a recommendation to the Director of Animal Services or their representative who will, pardon me, the recommendation will be taken into consideration and a final decision will be made by the Director of Animal Services or their designated representative. If, as the defendant in the case, you are unhappy with the decision of the commission, you may appeal. For citation cases, appeals are made through the District Court of Maryland. For administrative orders like potentially dangerous, or vicious orders, appeals are made through the County Board of Appeals. Be advised that when we are discussing cruelty cases, the commission is not voting to return the animals to the owner right away. If the commission votes for the owner to have the animals back, they will have to wait until their district court cases are adjudicated. I hope you all had a happy and safe 4th this past weekend. Autumn, please call the first case.
If you are a participant in the Anne Arundel County Department of Animal Service versus Binstock, please use the raise hand function now at this time so I can promote you to panelist. And then Miss Binstock did not appear for the hearing.
I think Jackie's talking with someone in the room. Give her 1 sec.
Jackie, the Animal Services is present and ready for this case. The defendant, Miss Binstock, did not appear.
Oh, okay. And I'm sorry, which case? I apologize. They were coming into clean. Which case are we on?
Anne Arundel County Department of Animal Services versus Binstock, the reckless owner designation.
Oh, well, and is it Miss Binstock that is not here?
Correct.
Well, in that case, then I would recommend that we just uphold the rulings and move on. Comments from other commission members? Your thoughts?
I would agree with you.
She seems to have a history of not showing up, and that's why we're here today. Can I have a motion then, please? Or do we need to go to deliberation, I guess?
I would do a motion.
Yeah, I'd move to uphold the designation.
Okay, and a second, please.
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor of upholding the designation of reckless owner, please raise your hands. Okay, looks unanimous. Thank you very much. And we'll move on to the next one.
If you are a participant in the Anne Arundel County Department of Animal Service versus Melancheco, please use the raise hand function at this time. Make sure. Will Mr. Melancheko be joining as well?
Yes, they
Okay.
are all on at Mr. Milichenko's house, I believe. I spoke to him about half an hour ago, and he said he was
Okay.
on.
Mr. Melancheko, if you could accept being promoted to a panelist.
Yeah, yeah. This morning we received a new link, so it was a little bit of hectic trying to get everybody on.
Then I could get you to turn your camera on, Mr. Melancheko, and unmute yourself. There we go. There you go.
We're good
If I
now?
could get everyone to please raise your right hand for me. Do you swear and affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes, I do.
I do. Do.
Right, we'll start with Officer Herbert. Name and address for the record, please.
Officer Herbert, 411 Maxwell Fry Road, Millersville, Maryland, 21108, Anne Arundel County.
Go, Lindsay, if you want to go ahead and state your name and address for the record.
My name is Lindsay Rybick. My address is 302 Brayburn Glen Court, Millersville, Maryland, 21108.
And then Mr. Melancheko, is everyone, all three parties testifying today?
Yes.
Yes. All right, then just one at a time, state your name and address for the record.
George Melnichenko, Joanne Davis, and Walter Demidенko.
Your address.
They will have to individually say their names and address for the record, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Walter, go ahead. State your name and
George Melnichenko, 303 Brayburn Glen Court, Millersville.
Walt Demidенko, 3210 Janice Avenue, Halefort, Maryland, 21227.
Joanne Davis, 303 Brayburn Glen Court, Millersville, Maryland.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I will turn this over to the commission, and Jackie, Lindsay, and Officer Herbert are for the county, and then Mr. Melancheko, the three individuals in Mr. Melancheko's video, and I don't want to say your name wrong, sir. I know
Lev Ivashko, representing Mr. Melnichenko, Maryland.
he's here on behalf of Mr. Melancheko as their lawyer.
Thank you for all that clarification. Appreciate it. Officer Herbert, will you please go ahead and get us started with explaining the situation and why we're here?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. Happy returns from a great holiday.
Morning.
More.
It has been reported to Anne Arundel County Animal Services that on April 25th, 2026, your dog Bluey, a 1-year-old altered female gray in color Australian cattle dog, while running at large, charged a juvenile in an aggressive manner, knocking the juvenile to the ground, causing injuries to his body and permanent damage to his teeth that will require extensive care to repair and maintain over his lifetime. During these incidences, Blue was involved in Anne Arundel County Code violation 12-4-402, Public Safety, Subtitle 1, 2, 4, and 6, as well as Anne Arundel County Code 12-4-905, running at large. Blue is currently home and not in complete compliance, but that's why we're here today.
Officer Herbert, can you tell us what is not in compliance, please?
I personally have not been out to Mr. Melanchenko's property to do an inspection because of the timeline and the appearance of the lawyer. But I will do that at the completion of this commission hearing.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Herbert?
Yeah, I would like to know how are they able to get the dog home without being in full compliance?
Autumn, that's kind of a question for you.
Yeah, so there's been a higher intake of order cases, attacks, stray animals coming into the shelter that we've had to make decisions on whether to impound animals. At this time, he's been working towards compliance of the order, and with the decision from leadership at Animal Services, we allowed for Bluey to stay home pending the outcome of the order.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions from the commissioners? Thank you. Officer Herbert, you have somebody else there. Are they to testify too for you?
Not that I'm aware of.
It would be Lindsay, Miss Rybrick.
And what is her role?
She is the mother of the juvenile.
Oh, okay. Then let's go ahead and have the mother testify, please.
Hey, ma'am, this is Lev Ivashko. May I ask questions of Officer Herbert yet, or is that later?
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Yes, I apologize.
No problem.
Please go right ahead.
Hello, Officer Herbert. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Good. I just want to just get some clarification. Were you called out on the day of the incident?
No, sir.
Okay, so did you yourself have any interaction with the child?
No, sir.
Okay, and but how about with the mother?
No, sir.
Okay, so all this is just information that you gathered from things you were told or read?
Other officers that investigated.
Other officers. And are any of the officers going to be present today that were there?
Autumn's here.
Autumn's here. Okay, okay. Great. Okay, well, thank you very much. I just wanted clarification. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, sir, for reminding me. So let's have the mom, please, now.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. My name is Lindsay Rybick. I am Ethan's mother. My purpose in speaking with you today is to provide accurate information about what occurred and the impact that it has had on my son. My 9-year-old son was walking home from school. He was simply walking down our street, and he was not interacting with the dog, not calling to the dog, nor doing anything to provoke it. Bluey was outside at large and not under the owner's control. The owner was not outside at the time. I heard Ethan screaming and calling for me. He told me that Bluey chased him, bit his shoe, and pulled on his foot, causing him to fall to the ground. The videos show Bluey crossing the street toward my son while snarling and barking. One of the videos shows Ethan's leg move backward immediately before he falls to the ground. The videos clearly show that this was an unprovoked encounter initiated by the dog. As a result of the fall, he sustained abrasions to his elbow and abdomen and significant trauma to his front adult tooth. He was evaluated in the emergency room that afternoon, underwent a CT scan, and was seen by his dentist the following day. Despite efforts to save the tooth, he ultimately required a root canal at just 9 years old due to the trauma caused by the fall. This is not a temporary injury. The dentist and endodontist both said that Ethan will likely require a crown on that tooth when he is older, meaning this incident will affect him for years to come. And the impact has not only been physical. Before this happened, Ethan was an independent, active child. He is an honor roll student, plays sports, enjoys being outside, and regularly walked home from school. And now, since this incident, he has repeatedly told me he is afraid to walk home from school alone. We had been discussing getting a dog as a family, and he now says he never wants to get a dog because he is afraid. In May, he did not want to attend a friend's party because there was a dog in the home and he didn't know the dog. He is also now fearful of going to the dentist because of the treatment he had to undergo after this incident. This has changed how he feels about normal, everyday activities that were once parts of his childhood. I also want to mention that this was not my first concerning encounter with Bluey. Last year, Bluey charged my vehicle while at large, then approached me aggressively, snarling and barking while I was in the street. After Ethan's attack, another neighbor told me that Bluey had chased their daughter's car and jumped on their vehicle, scratching the side. These incidents were not reported at the time, but they demonstrate a pattern of behavior that has concerned multiple neighbors. There are approximately 11 children under the age of 10 living on our cul-de-sac. Children regularly walk home from school, ride bikes, and play outside. My concern is not only for my son, but for every child who uses our street. And I respectfully ask that the safety measures ordered by animal control remain in place to protect the children in our neighborhood. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Do any of the commission members have questions for her? If not, sir, and I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I
wanna-
was just looking back
Oh,
through
sorry.
the evidence. I wanted to quickly look back. I didn't see any videos in the evidence. She mentioned multiple videos. Do we have those videos?
There is a video in there.
Oh, I must have missed it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. All right, then go ahead.
Well, this Autumn, could you pull the videos up, please?
Yes, give me 1 second. Is that there's technical difficulties all around today. I just ask for 4 more seconds, please. Does anybody want me to replay it? It does happen towards the end, in the top left-hand corner where you see the words ring. Just for that sake, I will replay it.
Thank you, Autumn.
Again, that was the only video.
No, the other one I'm getting ready to pull up. Please give me
Okay,
one
thanks.
second.
I still went back. I went back and looked in my shared folder. I did not see either of these in my shared folder.
The first one is named Angle 2 Melenchenko, MP4. It's about the fourth file down.
Ms. Kiefler, are you going to be showing another video? Okay. Ms. Kiefler, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay, great. Can you show that second video one more time, please?
Yes.
Is there a way to zoom in on that video? Because from my purview, it does not look like Bluey ever touches the child.
So
It
that
has no-
is a zoomed in
yeah,
version of the video. Let me.
that's a very important detail.
Jackie, I'm gonna let you continue while I get the unzoomed video pulled up.
Yeah, and I'm
if that's
sorry.
possible.
You were right, by the way. I was in a subfolder that I had gone one more click in, so your videos were there. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Do any of the other commission members have any questions for, I'm sorry, I cannot read your name, Lindsay, Mom.
It's Rybick. That's okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And do any other commission members have questions for her? And Mr. Attorney, if you don't mind, if I call you that, do you have questions for her?
Yes, I do. I just want to let you know also the veterinarian was having trouble getting on. I think she's raising her hand. If somebody could let her in, please, that would be greatly appreciated. Her name is Dr. Jessica Hurd.
Thank you. Autumn, if you could take care of that, please, for us.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yes, I do. I have questions for Ms. Rybeck. Is that correct pronunciation?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. This is a very sensitive matter, and I want to approach this in a very delicate way with you because this is an emotional situation for all parties involved. For you, for any injuries that were sustained by your child, as well as the owners of Bluey, who know Bluey to be a certain way. So I'm going to just be asking questions and try to move forward with this in a very delicate manner. Okay.
Okay.
So you mentioned during your testimony that your son walks home from school. How far is the school from your home?
It's 0.8 miles.
So almost a mile. He walks home alone.
Almost. Yes.
And how long has he been doing that?
Couple of months.
Okay, so when he didn't do it when he was 8?
He did maybe occasionally, but not regularly.
Okay, so at least for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, he's been walking home alone from school. And particularly recently, regularly, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And does he have to cross major thoroughfares when he does this?
Yes. By major thoroughfare, there's a road with a crossing guard.
Okay, do all roads have crossing guards between the school and your home?
Yes, there is one road that he has to cross and then he's in the neighborhood.
Great, okay. Okay. You had mentioned that other neighbors had expressed concerns about Bluey. Do you have any affidavits from any of said neighbors?
No,
Are any of those other neighbors here today?
they are not.
Okay. Again, I don't know how the rules of evidence work here. I know it's not formal, but I'd like for the commission to please disregard and strike any statements that any other neighbors have said anything negative or expressed concern about Bluey, because there is no evidence showing that, demonstrating that. And according to the rules of the commission, anything that is stated by a non-expert witness must be provided to the commission in an affidavit with the notary.
Thank you, sir. We will take everything into consideration as we move through because, again, we are not bound by the official rules of evidence. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just trying to be thorough. Thank you very much. Okay.
I appreciate that.
Okay. Back to the questions from Ms. Rybeck. Has your well, first off, do you have any other children besides your son?
Yes,
And how many?
I have a daughter.
You have a daughter, and so you have a son and a daughter. Okay, that's wonderful. Congratulations. We're working on that as well in my family. Essentially, the question I have for you is, has either your son or your daughter, or both separately or with friends or at any time, ever played with Bluey?
Yes, I believe so.
Well, do you believe so or do you know so?
My daughter has. I do not know. I do not know for certain that my son has.
So your son, or so your daughter, how old's your daughter?
She's 7.
She's 7. So were you there with her as she was playing with Bluey?
I was not.
And was any other parent or guardian with her when she was playing with Bluey?
I do not know.
You don't know if you had a guardian with your 7-year-old daughter playing with a dog?
I don't know. No, I don't.
Excuse me, we're here about her son. I don't see how her daughter has any relevance at all in this situation. She was not present during the situation. There's been no mention of her by anybody. I don't understand the relevance of this line of questioning.
That's a very good question, sir. This is a hearing regarding whether or not Bluey is a potentially dangerous animal, and I'm trying to establish that Bluey is not, because if she's allowing her 7-year-old daughter, who's younger than the son, to play unsupervised with Bluey, obviously it's relevant that she does not consider the dog potentially dangerous. Okay, so that's why the line of questioning is relevant. It is very much in line with what we're trying to prove or disprove here. Does that make sense? Or
I mean, to an extent, yes, but we're talking about a very specific incident with a dog that was at large. So that's what I'm going to focus on, is the incident, how the dog got to be at large and how the situation became dangerous for that child. That's what I want to see. The daughter having, in my opinion, okay, just go ahead. We don't need my opinion, but I'm looking at the facts of the case, which is I saw a dog running at large, and I've heard evidence of a child that was injured for that reason, not necessarily from contact with that dog, but because of the incident in total. And that's what I'd like to hear evidence towards and questioning towards. Okay. I really don't see. I can understand that you do want to, see that, make a statement that yes, her daughter. Just go ahead with your question, sir. That's fine. I want to stay on track with the incident that actually occurred. That's the questioning we need to hear, is about the incident.
Okay. Well, believe me, sir, it's all going to make sense in a second. Okay. So, and I'll even go ahead and talk to you about why I'm presenting these questions. Bluey is a dog that's very loving. It likes to have fun. She likes to have fun. She likes to have fun with children, and with Ms. Rybeck's daughter, with Ms. Rybeck's son, who knowing these children, of course, Bluey would get excited and want to play. So playing with a child is not ipso facto evidence, prima facie evidence of being potentially dangerous. And looking at that video from that second angle, I did not see any contact with the child. The child may have fallen because the child may have ran and tripped, but that does not mean that the dog attacked, nor bit, nor did anything to, because there has been no evidence presented as such. Okay. So that's, again, we're just trying to establish that the dog is not potentially dangerous. That's the most important thing for the owners here. But I'll continue my questioning, but thank you for seeking that clarification. That's important. Okay, Ms. Rybeck, do you have any pictures of the shoe that Bluey allegedly bit?
No,
Okay, so do you have so you have no evidence of any bite marks on the shoe?
I have my son's testimony. My son told me Bluey bit his shoe.
Okay, but looking at that video, do you concur that Bluey never touched your son? That second video?
I do not.
You saw in the
I do
video
not concur.
you saw in the video Bluey touch your son?
I see in the video, you have to zoom in to the top corner, and you see in the video that my son's leg goes backwards, which corroborates with his story that the dog bit his shoe and pulled his leg.
Okay, I did not see that. But that's your testimony. That's your testimony. Do you have we had asked you to provide any previous prior to the incident dental records for your son. Did you bring them with you today?
I was not asked to provide any previous dental records.
Ms. Kiefler?
I requested the medical documentation from the incident itself as it pertains to the order itself. We cannot request previous dental information, but I do have the medical notes that her son was seen on that date from a dog attack, resulting in a chipped tooth and scraped on his elbow and abdomen.
Okay, I want to note for the record that I did request dental records prior to the event for the minor child. That's very important to establish whether or not the child did have a chipped tooth or anything prior to the incident. And I understand that the rules of evidence here are different. Again, we're just trying to be as thorough as possible. So there is no evidence showing that the injury did occur on that day.
Ms. Robert, are you okay with me sharing the medical record here on?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, just to show here on the my chart note from the 27th of April. Past surgical history includes a fracture surgery and a tongue surgery. Nothing that states anything regarding dental work, which would have to be reported to the medical team. And then the actual incident itself to why Ethan was being seen at the doctor's that day. And then go here. And then the injuries. It's the chipped tooth, the abrasions to the stomach, and to the elbow.
So, sir, I think that satisfies as far as what evidence we have available regarding this. Some of your points that you have been making in my limited legal knowledge, might be more points for your appeal if you should appeal.
Yeah, so that's why I want to get on the record exactly correct. And I'm sorry, how do I address you? Ch- Chair, Chief?
I'm chair.
Your chair, okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Ms. Chair, okay. Yes, that is correct. But I do want to establish that there has been no evidence of prior medical history regarding the chip tooth, no dental records regarding that, and as well as the documents that were just presented are merely documents stating what the plaintiff or plaintiff's son described, not actually any kind of witness of any occurrence that actually occurred. So that's not substantive proof of what actually happened on the date in question.
Thank you.
So thank you very much.
So-
Okay. I just
okay,
have a few more
so-
questions.
Sir, I want to clarify for you too, that the reason we are here today is that the Machenkos are, as my understanding is, the Machenkos are appealing the dangerous order.
The potentially dangerous.
The potentially dangerous order on Bluey. Could you clarify for us, please, exactly what it is in the order that they are appealing? Is it the overall standing, or are there specific items within the order that they do not feel they can or want to comply with?
I'll be it's actually very simple, Ms. Chief. They actually already have complied with everything. They built a fence. When I get to Mr. Milenchenko, he'll describe everything they've done. They've gotten the cage. It's not about compliance with the terms. It's about the label, because Bluey is a service animal, very loving, and it's merely the label that they are objecting to label this wonderful, kind, loving dog. And when Mr. Demidенko testifies, he will explain further what the situation is, and how this dog actually is with everybody. And Mr. Demidенko is not family; he's a stranger, as far as everything is concerned. So essentially, it's merely the label, because all the other terms, for the most part, have been already complied with. Mr. Milenchenko is a very he loves his animals, and as does Joanne Davis, who is also the co-owner. And so basically, but they will do anything it takes, just not to have the label for Bluey as potentially dangerous.
Okay, thank you. You mentioned that Bluey is a service animal. Do you have documentation for that?
Yes, I provided a letter from Ms. Davis about that. And when she testifies, we can get further that if there's anything else available regarding that.
Yes, because in order to consider Bluey as a true service animal, we will need to have official documentation of that. Not just
Jackie, if I may cut you off, I'm
Yes.
sorry. In the state of Maryland, we cannot require that. So if someone makes a statement that the dog is a service dog, then we, take that for
Okay,
it's worth having the added documentation. We can request it, to ask what job the dog performs, but we can't legally
Okay.
ask them to provide proof.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure that was established before we went any further.
thank you, Autumn. I appreciate that very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Okay, may I finish my question on Ms. Rybeck, please?
yes,
Thank you very much. Okay, just a few more questions, Ms. Rybeck. I know this is not an easy thing. So basically, I just wanted to get a final reiteration of whether or not do you know if pardon me, if your son had ever been over the Melanchenko's property at all, for any reason, whether to play with Bluey or not, with or without your daughter.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Ms. Rybick, for answering the questions. And I appreciate your time.
Hey, Jackie, I do have a question, if I may. Which I should have asked before we moved on. What job does Bluey perform?
Are you asking me?
Yes. Or Mr.
Well, that's a question, I think, for Ms. Davis when we get to her.
Can we go ahead and establish the job that is performed for Bluey? Since she's
If you want to skip around to her right now.
yeah, just to go ahead and establish it, since it was brought up as far as Bluey being a service dog, I think it would be good
Ms.
for the commission.
Sure. Ms. Davis? You need to unmute yourself.
Before we get too far, I have some questions. I have a few follow-up questions from Ms. Ryback after this, please.
Okay.
All right, George, you know how to unmute yourself on the bottom left-hand corner.
Okay.
There's a thing called audio.
Are we
Oh, you got
there?
it. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, what was the question again?
What job does Bluey perform?
As a service animal.
She's an emotional support dog.
So she's an emotional support animal,
And
not
she's
a
also listed / assistance.
And
I'm
who
sorry,
is that
what was-
for?
It's for me, Joanne Davis.
Okay, thank you.
And then just you said, what was the second part? I'm sorry, you said it was emotional support and what else? I apologize.
Assistance.
Assistance for
That is something that is medical condition there right now. Does not need to be disclosed and nor is it required by Maryland law. But she is an
no. So I'm not asking to disclose the medical condition. So when she says assistance, is it moving around or is it just more like behave? Like I can ask what job it performs, so how it assists her.
She can, when I have arthritis and when she can pick things up for me if I need her to pick it up.
Okay. And then I guess the other question I have is I know that Mr. Melancheko, just to clarify, he live in Delaware. Does Bluey come with you to Delaware? Or does Bluey mainly stay at Mr. Melancheko's?
She almost threw up.
Not sure what happened here.
What?
No, I just know that Mr. Melancheko mentioned that he travels out of the state. I can't remember exactly where to vacation for a week, and then there's a house in Delaware as well. Does Bluey stay with here at that?
Bluey is with us wherever we go. Bluey goes
Okay.
with us to Delaware, Minnesota, Florida, Home Depot, grocery stores, clothes shopping. She's with us everywhere we go.
I just wanted to clarify. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Everyone who is on our call today, will you please mute yourselves unless you have been specifically asked to speak? Thank you.
You know,
We've been getting a little background noises. Thank you very much. Tom, you had some questions for Ms. Ryback.
Yeah, I just wanted to, Ms. Ryback, if you could talk about the incident again, the end of the incident. You said you heard your son scream. Were you the first one to get to him? And then can you tell me what happened once you arrived there? Was the dog still present? Did the dog run away? Did the Melanchenkos come and get the dog? Is there any, can you just shed some light on the end of the situation and kind of how that happened?
Sure. I heard my son screaming. I opened up the door and he came in, told me what happened. I immediately took his shoe off because he said Bluey bit him on his foot. I took his shoe off and looked for any bite marks, which I found none. And he showed me his abrasions to his stomach and his elbow, and we found the cracked tooth. After I made sure that he was okay, I actually called 911 first. I didn't know what the next step was, so I called 911 and they instructed me to take my son either to urgent care or to the emergency room. I then looked outside the door and saw Mr. Melanchenko and his girlfriend Joanne outside, and I went outside and spoke to them. Bluey was outside at the time with them. It appeared that a trunk was open and they may have been carrying things inside the house.
At the time, was Bluey on a leash when you saw him with them at that time? Or was he on their property? Was he on your property? I mean, where exactly was the dog?
Bluey was on their property when I came outside. She was not on a leash. She is rarely on a leash in the front yard.
And again, the incident happened. Did it happen right in front of your house, and then your son walked right up, or was it a couple houses down? I'm just trying to get a feel for exactly where this all occurred.
It was the house next door on our side. The Melnichenkos live across the street from us in the cul-de-sac. So it was the house next to us across the street from Bluey.
Okay, and then after he hit the ground, he got up and came to the front door, and that's where you met him.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do any other commission members have questions for Ms. Ryback? All right, thank you. And Mr. Attorney, sir, again, I don't want to damage your name. Do you have any further questions for her?
No, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Ms. Ryback, thank you very much. All right, so we are ready then to move into your presentation and the Melanchenkos. And again, I do want to remind you that we are talking about this specific incident and in order to make the determination.
Yes. However, I do believe that, although we're talking about a specific incident, evidence that mitigates Bluey's behavior, I think is very important to establish, and as well as listening to professionals and experts, as well as people who observe, who are not part of the family, to give their 2 cents so that we can establish whether or not they believe, as experts and as third-party observers, whether or not Bluey is even capable of this, especially in view of that video, which, as far as I saw, the second video, which I did not have access to until this morning, until just now seeing with you, that he did not look to me like Bluey came in contact with a child. So I'd like to call the first witness, Dr. Jessica Hurd. She is a veterinarian.
I just need to swear her in. Second.
Morning.
You could raise your right hand for me. Do you swear and affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
If you just state your name and address for the record.
I am Dr. Jessica Hurd, and I work at Severna Park Veterinary Hospital, which is at 4 Evergreen Road in Severna Park, Maryland.
Thank you so much. I will turn it back over to the commission.
Thank you, ma'am. And sir, you can go right ahead, please.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Dr. Hurd. How are you doing?
Hi.
So how long have you been a doctor of veterinary medicine?
29 years.
And how long have you known George Melnichenko?
Oh, goodness. I know how long I've known Bluey. I'm not don't remember how long I've known them, but it's been a number of years.
Okay. And Bluey, have you known Bluey for a while?
I have. Since Bluey was a puppy, I think.
Okay. So basically Bluey's whole life you've known her.
Yes.
For the most part. Okay.
Yes.
And were you asked to perform an evaluation recently of Bluey?
I was asked to perform an evaluation of Bluey.
And prior to the evaluation, had you prior to the evaluation being asked, had you ever noticed anything in the past of any kind of behavior exhibited by Bluey that would denote that Bluey could be even potentially dangerous?
No, I haven't seen any of that, not here at my office. Bluey lets us examine Bluey. Bluey lets us draw blood. And, you know, it's a very tense environment for animals. And we usually, when animals are, even if they're fear aggressive at all, we'll put notes all over their charts for anybody who's seen them. And that's not the case for Bluey. Bluey is always a very compliant patient and will let us do, you know, whatever we want. I mean, Bluey's been an angel here.
So just to establish, you have had other animals that are owned by owners like the Milenchenkos, other dogs that will not be compliant.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Every day.
Okay, but that's not the case with Bluey.
That is not the case with Bluey. Bluey is always very compliant with whatever we need to do.
Okay, and has Bluey ever bitten you?
No,
Has Bluey ever snarled at you?
no. There's been no growling, no aggression, nothing. Not when we get blood, not when we look at feet, not when I look at the mouth or look in the teeth or push on the abdomen, nothing.
And then
Bluey-
finally,
Bluey-
so would you describe Bluey as potentially dangerous?
I would not describe Bluey as potentially dangerous, no.
Okay, those are all the questions I have. I pass the witness to the commission.
Real quick, I do apologize. I just saw that Stacy had messaged me, one of the commission members, that she didn't have the raise hand function, that she had questions. So I do apologize, Stacy. I just saw that.
I don't
Okay.
know why. I didn't know if that was a setting.
Thank
I do
you.
have questions
Yeah,
for
excuse me,
the veterinarian.
Stacy, if you want, just raise your hand, like when I asked if somebody,
That's the problem.
oh, no, raise your physical hand. Thank you. So who do you have your questions for?
The veterinarian.
Pardon?
The veterinarian.
The veterinarian. Okay, great. Thank you. Please go right ahead.
Hi, Dr. Hurd. I'm just curious, as someone who's worked in veterinary medicine for 20 years as well, I'm a little bit confused. I feel like every dog, you know, what we see maybe in the clinic is just a snapshot of what they are or are not capable of. And I just wanted to ask you, do you have patients that, you know, are maybe the perfect little patient in the office, but, you know, have maybe had a behavior outside of your clinic that you wouldn't have anticipated?
Occasionally, but usually this is a place that they're very fearful of, and we are often sticking them with needles and putting them in positions that they're not comfortable in. So usually if they have tendencies to bite, they're more likely to bite us actually than anywhere else. I mean, it's something that we see all the time. Many people are actually, usually it's the opposite. People are shocked because they have no aggression outside the office, but when they get here, they are, you know, they'll, I mean, I don't blame them. I would try to bite somebody too if somebody was sticking me with the needles and I didn't know why. So this tends to be, bites of the veterinarian's office are not considered provoked bites because we do things that definitely provoke them. I mean, so usually it's the other way around. Usually, but it is a snapshot. Absolutely. You know, every person, every dog, whatever somebody sees, somebody else can see something different. In my experience, examining Bluey in uncomfortable situations multiple times over the past few years, Bluey has not shown any signs of aggression to me or any of the technicians at the office.
That's my only question. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I have a question, please. Would you agree that some dogs can have a tendency towards playing more aggressively than others?
I mean, absolutely. Some of them can play more aggressively than others. Absolutely. That does happen outside of, most play happens outside of our office and not inside our office.
Certainly. And would that be a somewhat common nature of a herding breed?
Well, herding breeds are very playful, but they don't tend to be aggressive with their play. They tend to, but they will herd any creature they can. So they do tend to run around ducks and other dogs and children and that sort of thing. It's why lots of people will get herding breeds, because they like the fact that they'll, you know, they will play with their kids outside and you know, they never get tired of running around.
Yes, thank you very much.
They usually match children's energy pretty well.
Yes, I have a herder myself.
Exactly right. If you've got a herding dog, you know. Right.
Well, I have just a kind of a follow-up to that line of questioning, if you don't mind. Again, so again, you're mentioning, biting as being a dangerous thing that a dog can do, but obviously these other things, and there are other things that you can think of or that you would say that a dog can do that would be dangerous. I mean, I understand that obviously the front end of a dog is always a potential concern, but are there other issues within breeds, otherwise that could be considered dangerous, depending on the situation?
Certainly, great big dogs that jump up, I think, are dangerous because they can knock people over. I certainly worry about that. People training, labs and Danes and other large dogs, if they jump on people, they can certainly be dangerous, even if they're not biting. So there is that inherent risk with those types of dogs.
And also with
herding dogs,
herding
are
dogs.
not typically dangerous unless you're running, because if you trip over them, yes, that is that's because they're going to be running at somebody's feet. But to me, that's just any dog you could trip over. It's kind of like, our toys inherently dangerous. If you trip over them, yes, they become dangerous. And dogs do move, but it doesn't make one dog necessarily more inherently dangerous than another dog, I guess, in my opinion, because any dog who's running around in circles around you, the more you move, the more likely you are to trip over it.
Thank you.
Sure.
Do any other commission members have questions for our veterinarian? I'm not seeing everybody on the screen, so if you do, just go ahead and unmute yourself. Otherwise, sir, we'll move on with your case. Who's your next person to call?
Thanks, Dr. Hurd. Very much. You have a wonderful day. I know you have to get back to work. Okay. Next, we'd like to call Walter Dimidenko, please.
Yes, I'm here.
Mr. Dimidenko, you've already been sworn in. Can you please state your full name?
Walter Dimidenko.
And what's your current occupation?
Retired aerospace engineer.
Okay. And how long have you known Mr. George Milchenko?
About 15 years plus.
Okay. And have you ever met Bluey, the dog?
Yes, I have.
And have you ever spent a large amount of time with Bluey?
I have, yes.
And for what reason did you spend a lot of time with Bluey?
To play with him. He likes to chase the ball.
Vacation.
And he's very patient. He's a loving animal.
Have you ever gone on the Milchenkos had mentioned taking Bluey everywhere? Have you ever gone on a trip with Bluey?
Yes, I have.
Okay, how long was the trip?
About a week.
And where was the trip to?
2 places, Minnesota and Florida.
Did you fly?
Yes, we did.
And so
we drove.
We drove.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we drove.
You flew and you drove to the 2 places. Okay. When you drove, was Bluey in the car with you?
Yes, he was.
Was he in a cage?
No.
So he was free in the car. And how would you describe Bluey's demeanor on this long road trip?
His behavior was excellent.
All right.
No problem.
Did he ever get impatient and start barking?
No, not while we were driving.
Okay. Did he ever do anything like defecate or urinate in the car?
No.
And has Bluey ever bitten you?
He hasn't. Has not.
And have you ever seen him bite anybody else?
No, I haven't.
Have you seen him be playful with people?
Yes, I have. I've seen that.
Okay. And when he plays, would you describe it as aggressive play?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Would you describe Bluey as a potentially dangerous animal?
No, I would not.
Okay. Those are all the questions I have for Mr. Davidenko.
Thank you. Commission members, do you have any questions for the gentleman? If not, then we'll move on. Who is your next person, sir?
Okay, I'd like to call just briefly Ms. Joanne Davis.
I'm here.
Okay, please just state your own name, please.
Joanne Davis.
And it's my understanding that you are a co-owner of Bluey.
Correct.
Okay, and Bluey is a service animal for you.
Correct.
Okay, and you had mentioned earlier that Bluey picks up things for you in various times.
Correct.
Can you describe like what she would pick up?
Keys. Could be
What's that?
my keys. Keys.
Oh, even keys?
Yes.
Okay. And have you ever witnessed Bluey playing with kids?
Absolutely. We have a 1.5-year-old here many years back.
You have a 1.5-year-old. Is it?
We had one. We had a 1.5 years. She's moved out, but yes, there was a 1.5-year-old here.
Oh, okay.
Younger at the time. Mm-hmm.
And that was that your grandchild?
Yes.
Okay.
We also have a 15-year-old here that she's plays with.
Okay. How about people outside the family? Any children? Has Bluey ever?
Yes, my niece went on vacation with us. She's 15 years old. She was in the car with us with Bluey and stayed with us in Minnesota for a week.
Okay, that's still your family. Anybody outside the family?
Oh, outside the family. Yes, I've taken her to my girlfriend's house. I've taken her inside the house, and she was fine with my girlfriend Beverly. Outside the family, we have gone through Home Depot and Home Goods and grocery stores, and there have people that have asked to pat her. So yeah, she has interacted with many strangers.
And when when Bluey has I apologize, has Bluey been receptive to these strangers petting?
Yes.
And did Bluey ever bite any of these people?
Never.
And or snarl or growl?
No, I put her in a sit position. I let the person come over, and then I allow them to pet her.
So would you say that Bluey obeys commands?
Absolutely.
Okay. Were you there on the day of the incident with the child?
I was, but I was not outside.
Okay. After you heard what happened, what did you do?
I spoke to George, and we both agreed that we wanted to go over and check on the child.
And did you go over to check on the child?
We did. And when I walked in the door, I immediately was looking down at the child's foot because the mother screamed at us that the dog had grabbed his shoe and tried to drag him all over the neighborhood. So I walked in the door. I looked down at the child's feet. He was barefooted, and I couldn't see any marks at all. The mother redirected me to his elbow, and I did see his elbow. She never showed us anything on the chest, and then showed us the chip tooth.
Okay. That actually is well, and finally, has Bluey, and you are under oath, has Bluey ever done anything in all your years that would make you consider Bluey as even being a little bit of have a potential dangerous tendency?
Not at all. No.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Davis. That's all I have for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have some questions, please, Miss Davis. The
Yes.
situations that you described, like going to Home Depot and interacting with people in the general public, is it safe for me to assume that Bluey is on a leash at that time?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And is it common for you to leave Bluey outside at home without supervision and unattended?
Never.
Then How was Bluey outside on this particular day?
We,
He'd been working in the garden and I just came home.
I did not know she was outside and lost sight of, I just lost sight of her. We were not aware. We never let her outside unattended. And we went to look for her when we realized she wasn't in the house. And when we walked outside to get her or find her, call her, that's when our neighbor came across the street to inform us of what Bluey did.
Thank you. And do you have any idea of how she did get outside without you realizing it?
I had opened up the sliding glass door for a few minutes and turned my back for just a second. I never saw her get out.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Do any of the other commission members have questions for Ms. Davis? Or Davies, excuse me. If not, then sir, please move right along.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. George Milochenko, I'd like to call him as witness.
Yeah, I'm here.
Mr. Milochenko, could you please yourself state your name?
George Melnichenko.
And are you also a co-owner of Bluey?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I know that I believe you had mentioned previously that you are hard of hearing, so I will speak deliberately and more loud. Does this help?
Thank
Yes,
you.
I have my hearing aids on, but yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay. You received the indication from the commission that there's of this potential label of a potentially dangerous animal for Bluey, correct?
Correct.
And there were a number of things that they were going to require for you to do, including building a fence, other things. Is that correct?
Correct.
Can you describe right now what have you done so far based on the commission's recommendations?
Yeah, I've done almost everything on that list. We put up a 6-foot fence with no gaps in it, which has no entrance, has no gate to the front yard. You have to go around the side to open it from the inside. Okay, so there's no way anybody can open that fence door area, other than from inside the house or from inside the backyard, just as the letter said. We put up a cage inside the house in the living room that if we have a visitor that Bluey does not know, Bluey can go in that cage. We've gotten the leashes that they recommended, as well as a soft muzzle. We also have hard muzzles. You have pictures of all those things we sent to you. I notified my insurance company, USAA, and they opened up a case, informed them of the potential medical situation for the child across the street. Essentially almost everyone, the only things I have not complied with, because it's not been a ruling per se, and I've already spent about $7,000 in this case. But
Mr. Milochenko, you're breaking up. I don't know what your internet. Can you repeat again what you just said? What you are not in compliance with?
Yeah, I said I have already spent about $7,000. Trying to comply with everything, plus your services.
He wants to know what you're not in compliance with.
So the only thing I am not in compliance with pretty much is a sign out front about a potentially dangerous dog, and having construction of some sort of a secondary door, which I really feel is unnecessary for the front. I would like to bring up that our neighbor there refers to she's always out in the front yard. Since this incident, my neighbor has not seen the dog in the front yard hardly at all. But whenever she has been on a leash and usually going to a vehicle. Okay, because I've stopped walking the dog in the area as well. When she refers to the dog out front, we were playing ball, and her daughter actually came over to play ball with Bluey on a number of cases. A week prior to this incident, her daughter and the girl 3 houses down across the street, her friend, they came over and knocked on my front door and wanted to know if I could bring Bluey to go play outside, in my front yard. Well, I've informed them the kids can't be over on my property anymore. Sorry, the kids can't play with her, but that's just how it is. I did provide you a picture with it. They had come 2 weeks after this fact and actually left one of their scooters out there in the front. So, it was a rare situation in that. It won't happen again because there's no way she can get out, and we're just not going to play ball with her in the front yard anymore.
Yes. And do you recall any time you mentioned that Ms. Hrabik's daughter came over with her friend to play with Bluey multiple occasions, as well as even after the incident, they wanted to play with Bluey and left the scooter in front, which there is a picture that's been provided in evidence. So do you recall any time when the son was over to play with Bluey?
No, the son had not come over to play. I think he's afraid of dogs, but he's never come over to play with Bluey. Just his younger sister. Okay.
So, all right. So the 7-year-old younger sister with along with her friend came over. Okay.
Yeah.
But you have informed Ms. Hrabik that that no longer is that permitted, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And her husband as well.
Okay. So essentially right now, I just want to clarify everything. So besides this extra front door and the sign indicating that Bluey's potentially dangerous animal is there, you've complied with all other things for the commission, correct?
Yes.
And why did you comply so readily?
It's just not a bad idea. I want to be a good neighbor. I don't want to see any of these type of things which can happen accidentally occur. Bluey is a herding dog. They don't like this, they will herd, dogs, cats, whatever. And I just don't want to have them to have an opportunity. If I can prevent it,
here's my question, okay? With regards to what you have described to me, can you please explain a little bit, why do you not want to have Bluey labeled as a potentially dangerous animal?
Because she's not.
Okay. But why is it important to you?
We move around. For example, when we go down to Florida, I've condo time sharing. We are able to take her with us. They allow us to take her because she is designated surface animal, and she's been nothing but very nice down there. The people like her.
Yeah, sorry, but Bluey is my baby,
and
she's
her baby.
My girl. She's very obedient. We've gone through several obedience classes, agility classes. I've trained the family at home on different ways that she has to be trained and the reinforcement of training. And I don't like a label of potentially dangerous on a dog, my dog that is not dangerous.
Yeah. I'm
not happy about that.
Yeah. She's never bit anybody that we know of. And I understand if somebody, if her son, if he's afraid of dogs, could have got spooked and tripped or whatever. But there was no evidence of her actually attacking him.
Now,
I understand the concern and being a parent as well. So, but that's why I took started immediately doing some of these other things like putting up the fences and everything, because we just want, we lived here since 1989, okay? And we just want to be good neighbors, that's all.
Now, you did mention that was the last thing I was going to ask you about is that certificate that you provided about Bluey's training. It did mention a second place. Can you kind of describe or explain what that means?
Yeah, go ahead.
The very first class you take with your dog, and it only happens with the first class, is at the very end of the class, they do a trial class. Every dog will go through an obedience trial as if it were in a dog show. And at the end of that trial, we got the paperwork back to us on how she scored, on her faults, on my faults. And Bluey came in second place in a class of about 9 dogs. And she only missed first place by 1 point. And this was her very first obedient class. It was followed up with 2 intermediate obedience classes. And from there, we took 2 agility courses.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I have no further questions.
Thank you very much. Sir, Mr. Machenko, I just want to clarify for you that when we talk about the secondary barrier, a lot of folks have found using things like kitty gates that you put up have worked. We're not necessarily requiring you to install additional doors into your doorways. So I just want you to be sure that you understand that. And thank you very much for the efforts that you have already made. We certainly do appreciate that. Do any of the commission members have any questions for Mr. Machenko? Or for anyone else who has been speaking?
I don't have a question. I know
Yes.
that Lindsay has her hand raised.
Yes, thank
I just
you.
kind of wanted to go back a little bit for like the herding dog question that the vet was making a statement about. Just because we see those here at the shelter all the time, and as an owner, as a herding dog myself, they're no more aggressive than any other type of dog. But given from my experience and understanding and training, that especially in suburban environments, being a herding dog, they will be instinctive to chase, circle, or nip things that are moving, children, bikes, cars. So if they're not getting the proper exercise or that kind of things that a herding dog needs for that job, things like this can happen, unfortunately. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you. And Ms. Rybeck, I believe you had a question?
Yes, thank you. And I wanted to make a statement about the scooter being left in front of their driveway, as Mr. Melnichenko mentioned. And I want to reiterate that, like I said previously, there are 11 children under the age of 10 on our street. I have seen scooters left in many people's driveways at the end of the driveway, in the middle of the cul-de-sac. They get left everywhere. I do not know if that was from my daughter, from the neighbor, from one of the boys down the street. Scooters get left all over the place in our neighborhood, and it happens all the time. The question that I had, and I do appreciate that there have been measures taken to install a fence and things that they are doing for the safety of the street. I do have a question about the fence, and does it go all the way around on all four sides?
Yes, it's fenced all around.
Is the back of the fence not planted bamboo?
There is a fence that goes through the bamboo.
Okay, thank you.
The wire fence that goes through the bamboo.
So it's not a 6-foot privacy fence through the bamboo?
No, but it's wire and you can't get through there. The bamboo is very thick.
Sir, how tall is that portion of the fence?
It's about 4.5 feet.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions, Ms. Ryback?
No, thank you very much.
Thank you. Commission members, do you have questions for anyone involved in this case? If not, then we will go to closed deliberations. Thank you, or to deliberations. Thank you, everyone, for your time
Thank you.
and for being here. We appreciate you.
May I ask one more question?
Yes, sir.
This is actually for you, Ms. Chair. Are we going to be receiving a response today or later or tomorrow or?
So the recommendation is made from the commission, and then that recommendation is then sent to the director. Per county code and bylaws, the director has 15 days to make a decision on that recommendation. So I can't guarantee if it'll be today, tomorrow, or the 15 days. So that kind of answers that question.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Autumn. All right, we are going to deliberations now. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Tom, I appreciate your frustration earlier. I suspect that we were sharing some of that as well. I did let him go on knowing that he was trying to lay some foundations. My thoughts are that obviously Bluey is a herding animal, and we've all shared thoughts about herding animals and have our own experiences. Herding animals, as Autumn said, particularly when they're in more of an area, housing area and all, and they're not out on the farm herding the animals, sheep and whatever that they normally do, they need to find ways to use what they have been bred for. And so typically most anything that moves can become the object of their activity. To me, potentially dangerous does not include a dog that has history of actually biting, but endangering someone in the public, which could be chasing, jumping up on, that type of thing. And play can become very aggressive, particularly with a herding dog, not intentionally wanting to hurt someone, but just following their natural instinct, which to me, it seems like that might have been the case here, other than the growling that I heard in the video, as Bluey was apparently chasing the child. The idea that there's no mark on the shoe, there's no mark on the foot of a bite, I think that tends to be somewhat irrelevant, because according to the testimony from the mom, that is what caused the child to fall and be injured. Not necessarily, the teeth don't have to go through the shoe to create a cut. Mr. Machenko is already in most compliance. His concern is, again, the signage and the secondary barrier. And I think that maybe he was misunderstanding how much of a secondary barrier he needed to install. And hopefully he understands now that that secondary barrier can be a little simpler than what he thought. My thought is that we should, since he is already in compliance with everything else, that we should uphold the rest of the PDO, the signage, so that the public knows, particularly with lots of kids in the neighborhood, and that secondary barrier, because on this particular instance, Bluey was out of the house by their testimony without knowing so, and that he may have slipped through that sliding glass door that was left open. Share, please. Okay.
You cut out there for a second. Did you, the very last thing what you said, did you ask for a comment? I'm not sure what.
Yes, I asked if anybody else has any comments that you'd like to share. Concerns?
I do, but if anybody else wants to go first, that's fine.
Go ahead, Tom.
Well, first of all, my frustration was obvious. And again, in this situation, I feel like, I'm sure Bluey is an absolutely wonderful dog. But again, I think that in some cases we're misconstruing, a dangerous dog with a dog that bites. And that's not what we're getting at. And again, like kids may play with this dog. And again, like if there was proof or if the line of questioning was leading us towards, well, this kid was running away from the dog and the dog didn't do anything. Well, then I see that where we're going. But I've seen 2 videos that show a dog that was able to cross the street and run up, whether he touched the child or not, created a dangerous situation. And again, Mr. Malenchenko, I do very much appreciate that he's taken the effort to do the fence and a lot of these things. I believe the secondary barrier in a situation like this could be the most important thing. Again, since this dog was able to slip outside undetected and cause this situation, there was no, there was never any point in time where they said that this never happened again. So it wasn't like, no, my dog wasn't at large or anything like that. So I think that a dog with these habits, and the veterinarian said so herself, that, a dog, regardless, if it gets under your feet, can be dangerous depending on the situation. If I'm walking home, if I get chased, it becomes a dangerous situation. So that's where I stand, and I fully agree to uphold, and I see no reason why not. In some cases, guys, I really wish that we had an opportunity to not call it the dangerous and, potentially dangerous animal. In some cases, I'd like to be able to turn the label around on the people, because a lot of times it is the people, and then people wouldn't be so upset. I mean, again, no one's saying that this dog is vicious or bloodlust or anything like that, but the way the animal acts, or is allowed to act in certain cases, is what becomes the dangerous situation. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you, Tom. Good point. Mr. Richardson, do you have any comments you'd like to share? And please unmute yourself if you do.
I was trying to unmute when you told me. The biggest thing that I noticed, and maybe I'm looking at it with a different eye just because of what I do from day to day. I agreed with one of the things that the attorney said. And on both of those videos, I don't see any contact with the kid. Do I? Yeah, the dog was absolutely running at large. And again, with herding dogs, as you've all said, also, if somebody's running, the herding dog's going to try and get around it and get it back where it belongs. So not understanding myself, not understanding what the laws are and the definitions of, dangerous versus non-dangerous. My question is how much do we as a group limit the ability of the dog to do what they do naturally, or to play? And then the other question that I had about what the mom was saying about the child being bitten or grabbed by the shoe. I have been grabbed by the shoe by dogs, leather shoes. And if you're grabbed hard enough to pull down to the ground, it leaves a mark on the shoe. I mean, it just does, whether it's from the scraping of the tooth as the leather comes loose, or whether it's, I'm not saying it's going to be punctures, because I've been bitten wearing my boots and it didn't puncture, but it did leave a mark on the boot. I think everybody's, got their own perspective. The mom's got their perspective. The owner's got their perspective. And I think what it needs to boil down to is, what is the definition of a dangerous dog? Because a lot of the stuff that they're saying happened, I don't see any indication of it happening. So I think for me, I would like to know what the definition of a dangerous dog is.
Hey, Sergeant Richardson.
Thank you.
I'll just real quick clarify. I should have done that when I found out you were filling, and I apologize. So there's potentially dangerous, dangerous, and vicious. So there are levels to it. So the label wasn't just straight up dangerous for Bluey. It was a potential danger. And if we look up 12-4-402, which is our public safety county code, I'm gonna pull it up for just share, just so that way we're kind of all on the same page. Bear with me.
Sure. Sir, while she's doing that, our responsibility here in the commission with these hearings is public safety.
I understand that.
Thank you. And we can certainly appreciate your newness to this and the confusion and questions that you have.
Okay.
So Autumn will pull that up for us so we can clarify it.
Yeah, I think for me, it does boil down to, what's the definition of, and because I don't see anything that, like, unless it counters to the law, that jumps out at me. And again, I've had a lot of interaction with dogs in my job, but
well, and of course, we're not looking to dictate change in behavior. What we're looking for is ways to safeguard the public through the owner's actions and what they need to do to be able to safeguard the public, but also at the same time, they're safeguarding their pet as well. So thank you again. So did you find that for us?
Yes, so the order itself just puts in limitations. So that way an incident like this doesn't happen again. Obviously, if the dog's in the backyard with 6-foot privacy fence, if the dog can play as normal. It's just more so for the public aspect of it, just making sure this doesn't happen again. But 402, public safety threats, potentially dangerous, and vicious animal criteria. An animal may not pose a threat to public safety. They include inflicts severe injury to a person, bites a person, kills or inflicts injury to a domesticated animal, attacks a person, while at large, chases or approaches a lawfully restrained domesticated animal in an aggressive manner, while at large, chases or approaches a person in an aggressive manner, or engages in encouraged dogfighting. For potentially dangerous, which is 402B, the department may designate an animal as potentially dangerous if, after consideration of the animal's demeanor and prior history and any evidence of mitigating circumstances, the department finds that the animal, while at large, chases or approaches a person or a lawfully restrained domesticated animal in an aggressive manner, and the department has received and verified information that the animal engaged in conduct that constitutes a public safety threat within the preceding 12 months in this or any other jurisdiction.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Autumn.
So given that, I would say, it matches what the law says as being potentially dangerous. So I personally would think it would be upheld based on that.
Thank you, sir, very much. Any other questions for us regarding it? Thank you. Let's see, Nicole.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I never heard that there was no mark on the shoe itself, just that there was no mark on the foot itself. There was a comment that there was no picture of the shoe in the evidence. But again, I never heard that there was no mark on the shoe, for what that's worth. I feel for Ms. Rybeck and Ethan for what happened and the fact that she had to relive it today, especially with the line of questioning. It's unclear to me how much in compliance Mr. Melnichenko is with the PDO, considering there seems to be questions on the 6-foot privacy fence in the back of the yard, but that'll be up to Officer Herbert to inspect and determine. The fact is, Bluey was running at large. That's not disputed here, and I see no reason not to uphold the PDO.
Thank you. Stacy. Thanks for your questions to the vet and your comments regarding that. And the snapshot, that was very good.
Yeah, I just, yeah, that was probably a little more personal than I don't like that, the appeal to authority, on that. And I just wanted to point out, I, I think we'd be talking about a very different case if it had been a geriatric person who, this dog had gone at, because there's the proximate cause of whether this dog actually bit or not. The dog caused the child to fall. If the dog had not charged, the kid wouldn't have fallen. And all the injuries that this child should not have had to have suffered wouldn't have happened. But if this was a geriatric person, it could have killed them, like break a hip, something like that down the road, it could have killed. So, like I reminded myself of that halfway through because I feel like people were being I feel like the attorney was being kind of generous with the fact that the child, almost like, gosh darn it, he could have done this at any point. So it could have ended much worse if it was an older person. So
Thank you.
kind of felt like that was taken very casually.
Okay, thanks. All right, so does somebody have a motion for us on the PDO?
I'll make a motion to uphold the PDO in its entirety as written.
Thank you. A second?
Yeah.
Do you have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. We have 2 seconds. All right, all those in favor of upholding the PDO as it is in its entirety? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for your patience through all that. I know sometimes we can really get into a lot of detail and all when we have an attorney available, but it is their right and good to have. So thanks so much.
Can we take a quick recess? Officer Herbert needs to do something real quick. If we could have 5 minutes.
Certainly. So what time will we be back?
Let's shoot for 10:48.
Okay, see you all in a few minutes.
Jackie, we are back.
Okay, thank you, everybody. We are ready to move on to our case with Courtney, Becky, and Charlie.
It's Anne Arundel County Department of Animal Services versus Becker, I believe.
Sorry.
Should I, because this is for a dangerous order, just want to kind of go over that really quick just for Sergeant Richardson going into it. Dangerous, which falls under 402C. The department may designate an animal as dangerous if it has one, killed or inflicted severe injury on a person or domesticated animal, has been determined to be potentially dangerous or vicious by another jurisdiction, has been documented as killing or inflicting severe injury on a person or domesticated animal in another jurisdiction, or has been determined to be potentially dangerous by the department and engages in a second incident that constitutes a public safety threat as described in subsection A of the section, which was the 7 different elements of public safety threats that I spoke about earlier.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you, Autumn. Will you go ahead and call everybody in and swear them in,
Yes.
please?
Yes. If you are a participant in the Department of Animal Services versus Becker, please use the raise hand function at this time. And then, Ms. Becker, if you could please turn on your camera and unmute yourself so I can swear you both in. Thank you. You could both raise your right hand for me. Do you swear and affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
And could you, Ms. Becker, state your name and address for the record?
Yes, it is. I'm Courtney Becker, and I'm currently residing at 7676 Mueller Drive, Glen Burnie, Maryland, 21060.
Thank you so much. And then Officer Herbert.
Officer Herbert, 411 Maxwell Fry Road, Millersville, Maryland, 21108, Anne Arundel County, Maryland, and thank you for the break.
I will turn it over to the committee.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. My understanding is that Ms. Frederick, owner of Higgins, is not with us today. Is that correct? Which of course is not required, as this is an appeal from Mrs. Becker on her dangerous order on Charlie. So, Officer Herbert, will you please get us started?
Yes, ma'am. It had been reported to Anne Arundel County Animal Services that on May 19th, 2026, your dog Charlie, approximate 2-year-old spayed female, tan in color, pitbull type mix, while running at large, was involved in a severe animal attack to Higgins, a mixed breed dog that required exploratory surgery, multiple sutures, and a Jackson Pratt surgical suction device, as well as a human exposure to Higgins' owners, Kim Frederick. According to our records during this incident, your dog was in violation of Anne Arundel County Code Article 12-402, Section 2, 3, and 5, and under public safety, and Anne Arundel County Code 12-4905, animals running at large. Charlie was initially impounded, and the order was issued. The owners were quick and swift to comply. An inspection was conducted on June 9th. There were a couple minor changes, but we rectified those, and Charlie is now residing at home with his owners, and the only missing link, I believe, is the license.
Thank you, Officer Herbert. Does anybody have any questions for Officer Herbert? Ma'am, if I understand correctly, everything within the order is in compliance, excuse me, except for the license. Is there a regular county license currently, and it's just the DO license that is not in place? That's for you, Officer Herbert.
Oh, sorry.
Or, I'm sorry, or Autumn.
Not that I'm aware of. I can quickly check. I think they were waiting on licensing because of the price difference.
Okay, thank you. Autumn, do we know, is there a regular license, county license in place right now? Okay, we will just go ahead and move on and wait. And Autumn, if you could go ahead and check on that for us. Ms. Becker, thank you very much for being here. And I want to thank you for all the work you have already done and the very detailed packet that you submitted to us. Would you please clarify for us what you are appealing specifically today?
So I am appealing the dangerous order due to changing circumstances since the incident. I understand that the incident itself was very traumatic for everybody involved, and I am incredibly apologetic of that. I accept full blame for having Charlie off leash in a public area. We had just gotten Charlie in November from Barks, and we were still trying to understand her. To our understanding, she has been very friendly with other dogs. She really wants to play. Her only issue is she gets so excited, she's highly aroused, and she ignores signals from other dogs that maybe they're a little bit uncomfortable. And then that causes escalation, and she's since had some negative experiences because of this that might have shaped the way that she approached this dog. Her trainer has now said that she is socially conflicted. She wants to interact with the other dogs, but she's not sure what's going to come of it. She has not been allowed to interact with other dogs. This is strictly analysis based on her reaction to seeing another dog walking across the street on a walk. And in general, now, as stated in the packet, I try to avoid those encounters. I go for walks at different times of day so she can still get her enrichment without facing those triggers. So the circumstances have changed in the sense that I now have a better understanding of her. She is being trained. She is being put on behavioral modification medication. And she is no longer going to be off leash, allowed to interact with other dogs. And should anybody encounter us in the neighborhood, I have a sleeve on the leash that says very large in all caps, "No dogs." So should anybody see it, they should know not to get close before they can even have the chance to ask if Charlie is a friendly dog.
Good, thank you. So my understanding, are you looking for the entire dangerous order to be lifted, or is it particular items within that order that you want changed?
There are some particular items in the order that are difficult to comply with. So yes, if we do need to go that route, I would be interested in reviewing that. However, I'm more interested in the entire case being reviewed. I don't necessarily want to request that it be lifted because I understand what happened was very serious. And like I said, I take full responsibility for it. So I just want a honest assessment of Charlie's risk to the public now that I've taken all of these measures. And if that happens to be that she is dangerous, then I will accept that. I just feel that a lot has changed since then, and I'm not the same handler at all. And as Tom pointed out earlier, a lot of this falls on the handler for how dangerous a dog can be to the public. So I have taken extreme measures to prevent anything like this from ever happening again. As I said, it was very traumatic for everybody involved. And I just feel like the case should be reviewed again from the current risk standpoint, not just the one incident itself.
Thank you. And if we were to look at modifications for you, what modifications would you want?
The fencing requirement. I'm currently residing with my boyfriend's parents as I'm in the process of moving. And that I always planned on moving in with my boyfriend at his parents' house, but I upped the timeline for that a little bit because of this incident, because the neighborhood where we were in was very small and I didn't want anybody feeling uncomfortable about Charlie's presence because word gets around. So I wanted to get her away from that where we could just kind of start fresh. Um, so now we're in a house where the fence is not 6 feet high, but it is enough to contain her. And it is a chain link. So she can see out, but she, as I have in my evidence, is not aggressive towards anybody walking by. She doesn't even bark. And she does not challenge the barrier whatsoever. Other than that, I would say the licensing fee every year. As I'm somebody who's still in my 20s and has goals in life of getting married and maybe buying a house of my own one day so my boyfriend and I can move out of his parents' house, I'm looking for any reduction in financial hardship as possible.
Thank you. Commission members, do you have any questions for Ms. Becker?
Yeah, how old is the dog and how much does the dog weigh?
She is about 2.5. And when we went to the vet on Thursday for her behavioral analysis, she weighed in at 46 pounds.
Anyone else have questions? Ms. Becker, do you have anything else you would like to share with us, highlight from your packet? I think we all probably appreciate how much you have done.
Yeah. I mean, I think I already mentioned before, like Charlie is socially conflicted now. She just enters situations in a heightened state of arousal. There's evidence in there of our current trainer, Rachel Ash, analyzing a video of her playing with the household dog, which shows her inability in the moment to recognize his subtle signals saying, "Hey, I really don't like you coming at my face like that." Um, and she was unable to recognize that because of how highly aroused she was, but she did want to play. And finally, he escalated a little bit with the C-shaped comature in his mouth, a flick of the tongue, and then his chin going over her neck, over her back, to which she finally understood, okay, he's not comfortable. She averted her gaze and she came to me. And that is often her reaction in situations when I notice her arousal escalating. I'm able to call her away. So she is very responsive, and we're working on all of that. We're practicing play with rules. So we're practicing getting her in a state of arousal with tug play, and then seeing how long it takes her to completely de-escalate from that and re-engaging. And the video that's currently pulled up is one where Charlie was first meeting the other household dog.
Thank you. Officer Herbert, going back to the fencing that they currently have at the house where they're living. In the pictures, it looks to be what, a 4-foot chain link or about that.
Just a moment. Are we discussing it's 7676 Mueller Drive, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. We discussed fencing in part of the backyard because there's only one door out from the basement, or putting up a kennel. And when I
Okay.
left from the inspection, I think they were siding towards putting up a kennel in the yard due to
Okay.
expense.
In some of the pictures that I saw of the backyard and the fencing, it was hard to tell, but it looked like there may have been some areas where the fence had a little had been collapsed in a little area, and that
Yeah.
possibly some holes were there, had been dug.
We have since repaired that. I don't know if any updated pictures were submitted, but that was damage from years ago. A tree fell into the yard and bent the fence down, and we've installed a new rod, so the fence in the back is now completely up, as high as everything else,
Mhm.
the fence surrounding.
Okay. And as Officer Herbert said, you all have talked about the idea of putting the kennel up, I assume right outside that basement, that door. That might be since you're not planning to be there permanently, and will be looking for a new home, that would be a good modification for you.
Yes, potentially. It's not easy to put something right outside that door because just above is the deck from the upper level, which does not have stairs leading down. But basically, in order to build that kennel, we'd have to install it on the pillars that hold the deck up.
Okay. All right, thank you. Any questions from any of the commission members? Anything else that either of you would like to share?
Just testing something for the group.
Okay, thank you.
I do have one thing, and I can only speculate what happened, so take this with a grain of salt. But from my perspective of the incident when it happened, Charlie ran up to the other dog, and there was a moment of sniffing face to face, which I know is not ideal. Normally, they would go sort of at a C shape, side to side, but they went up to each other face to face and were sniffing, and then all of a sudden a fight broke out, and I cannot say with certainty who escalated first because it all happened so fast, and I was at a distance, so I couldn't hear if maybe Higgins growled or Charlie growled. I couldn't hear anything like that. But from what I have learned of Charlie since then, it is highly probable that she went up to that dog in a heightened state of arousal, and he was overwhelmed, as he should have been, and probably gave Charlie some warning signals that she did not acknowledge because of her heightened state of arousal. And because of that, either she escalated or he did, but she sustained injuries to her face while the other dog did not. Eventually, she got around to his back, and then I can only speculate that as she actively was holding onto his back in her bite in the moment, I was pulling her away, and that caused the tearing that resulted in the severe surgery. Had I not pulled her away while she had her hold, I don't think that it would have caused the extent of the injury. So I blame myself for the severity of it, because I think that had I known how to break up a fight, I would have been able to prevent that injury to the dog.
Sorry. Thank you for those thoughts. Autumn, or Officer Herbert, do we know about current licensing for Charlie?
She currently does not have the regular license. But that's also pending the outcome of today, whether or not to do the regular license or the dangerous license.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Becker, can you tell us why you, prior to the incident, did not have a county license for Charlie?
So I can't really speak to that because when we first got Charlie, she was supposed to be the family dog. She's currently technically under my mom's name for being the owner. But when we got Charlie, she became attached to me, and it just became clear, like, I became attached to her, she became attached to me. She just became my dog. So we haven't transferred ownership. As far as anything that my mom would have done to license her, I would not be familiar with. But we did just get her in November, so I don't know if there was any, or if she even knew that.
I'm gonna look up your mother's record because it is here on the report. So just give me a second. It might be
Okay.
licensed.
Thank you, Autumn. Well, Autumn is doing that. Do any commission members have any questions? If not, once we get the answer to the license, we will go on to deliberations.
Charlie was also not licensed under her mother as well.
Okay. Thank you. If there are no further questions, we will go on to deliberations. Ms. Becker, thank you again for being here and your patience waiting for your case.
Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Okay, so it's obvious that with them staying in the home where they are now, that they still need to do some work with the fencing aspect. And it sounds like doing the kennel would be best. When I watched some of her video of her current walking habits with Charlie, I think I observed the still heightened stimulation when Charlie heard or saw other dogs. I never saw where they were passing other dogs, but it seemed that Charlie saw and heard other dogs like across the street in other yards, and what became very stimulated with that. So I'm concerned about lifting the dangerous order, but I wonder if we would consider, and if we can consider changing it to a PDO instead. What are your thoughts? Yes, sir, Mr. Richardson.
First of all, I would say, again, from my perspective, this doesn't normally happen, but the owner of the dog is taking responsibility, and that's kind of refreshing. But she's also taking responsibility for it being partially her fault and having to learn the dog, and she's taken some steps to do that, plus having a dog evaluated by somebody else, and even going so far as to put it on medication, which at best is, it's not, that is never a immediate fix, because I got to play with it and figure out what works best for the dog, just like they do with people. So I think that she's, and this is saying something too, I think she's learned from it. And I think she's, like I said, taking responsibility for it. And to me, it sounds like the kennel idea is a good idea from that aspect of it. Kennels are placed all over, so I mean they're pretty safe as long as you use them right.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Tom.
Yeah, I mean, by all accounts, this sounds like a great owner that made a dumb mistake, and unfortunately, the dog's got to pay for it. I think. I mean, with the video, I didn't watch all the videos. I watched a lot of the videos. I agree with you that the dog still seems a little bit heightened as far as the interest in other animals. I mean, that being said, to me, when I look at potentially dangerous versus dangerous, and you discuss potentially dropping back, I don't see any, I'd be happy to do that because we're keeping basically the same stipulations. You know what I mean? Like there's no real difference in the order other than the title and then I guess the cost in some respects. And for someone that's put the effort in there, I think when you look at these things with the dog, this order follows the dog for the dog's life. And, this dog's already been redeemed now from Barks. It was owned by this woman's mother, and now it's owned by her. I just get concerned basically down the road if this dog, ends up with somebody else, we would know that we have an order, whether it's a PDO or a DO, whatever, in place that follows that animal, because, something happens to this owner or some circumstance changes, I want to make sure that the public is protected. And, hopefully someone that cares as much to do as much work as this person did will be in charge of this animal for its life, but that's not a guarantee. So I feel like an order would be helpful in this situation. I'd be willing to, hear PDO versus DO. I'd be interested to drop it. I mean, I have no hard line there.
Thank you. Autumn, for clarification for us, was it last year or the year before, our county legislation went through the council to afford an appeal within a certain number of years to have the PDOs and the DOs lifted?
So they would have to go to the court, I believe, to like an expungement almost, like after 3 years.
Yeah.
I have seen it come through before. It's like 3 years had passed and they wanted the records removed that an animal was dangerous or potentially dangerous, and we had to comply with that. So I would say it's the 3 years. I can ask Curran in the background.
Yeah, when we're talking about a young dog like this, I mean, it's tough on that dog. I mean, these stipulations got to follow that dog for the rest of its life. And if there are good modifications, I mean, there's medication that was discussed here, and if these things all work towards a better animal, I mean, who am I to say in 3 years this dog's not, perfect? So I agree that, I mean, if there's not, I think that would be great if we could work towards that.
Yeah, I agree that the current circumstance is one thing, but it seems like with the owner and the work she's putting into this and the newness of the relationship, there's the potential that in those 3 years, everything could change so much. And so I just want to be sure that she knows as well, with whatever our decision is, that she has another avenue in those 3 years, whatever it was finally determined, to take action again and come back and see us and have a new determination made.
And then just to confirm, the biggest difference between the orders is the cost of the license.
Mm-hmm.
And then the notification to neighbors.
Yes.
So dangerous orders requires you to notify your neighbors within 175 feet that there's a dangerous dog at the house. In addition to the registry, the PDO does not. But then the licensing would be just reduce the cost of the licensing. Potentially dangerous is less than that of a dangerous.
Right. And of course, as far as the signage is concerned, no matter which way, they still have to put signage up. There's a difference in the terminology on it. But so when they get to move to a new location, then there would still be signage there, whether it's PDO or
Yeah, so if we look at county code and like also policy, like internal policy, it says the county code says post on the premises where the animal is maintained a clearly visible warning sign that there's a dangerous animal on the property. And then, the conditions set by the department is the potentially dangerous or dangerous. So should the commission wish to, and they've done it previously in the past, change the type of sign that's up, like, up, that says just a warning, beware of dog. But that's been the routine, is potentially dangerous for the PD and then dangerous for the dangerous per the department. And then county code just says it needs to be a visible warning sign.
Okay, thank you. Stacy, your thoughts?
I'm pretty much aligned with what you're saying. I like that she has the window, in a few years to appeal, or modify. I like the idea of possibly reducing to PDO. She's a dream owner compared to,
Yeah. Not quite our
um,
norm.
like she seems like she is absolutely taking full responsibility. I feel, given this situation, um, she's learned from the mistake. I don't think it hopefully will be repeated. I think maybe the one concern I would have is if she's not, as far as rules within that home, because it sounds like it's a multiple person home, that everyone in the home is under the clear understanding of what this dog's capabilities are and are not outside of the home. So, like, if the mom wants to go walk it, or you know what I mean, just that everybody's absolutely on the same page, because we know she is very invested, but we need to make sure the household, or those people aren't engaging in anything with the dog outside of the home. That's the only fear I would have.
Just so real quick, I just pulled up the bill that you were referencing. So the first paragraph I'm looking at says, for the purpose of allowing for the waiver of all or portion of redemption fees in certain situations, amending the special license fee for a dangerous animal, amending the notice requirements for animal cruelty cases, and adding conditions under which an owner must pay for the costs. And that's, we're not looking at cruelty, but just generally relating to public safety. That was what was in the bill as to allowing for modifications to licensing fees or redemption fees. And then furthermore into public safety. I think, so the public safety here. It just says that the special license for dangerous animal is $125 for the first year and shall revert to the standard rate for each year thereafter. The fee for an animal found to be potentially dangerous is $100 annually for the first year and shall revert to the standard rate each year thereafter. So that's going to be the biggest thing that was in that bill, was establishing the special license fee and then the right to appeal to have the special license fee amended with the commission.
Okay, thank you very much.
I have a question real quick.
Yes, sir.
You guys were talking about the window for appeal and related topics with that. What I didn't hear, and I don't know whether this is whether the commission can order this or not, but in the spirit of like compromise, if you will, I'm not sure that's the right word, but within that window of appeal, if you should go that way, can it also be stipulated that before the appeal can be heard, that the dog is again fully evaluated by a professional for a professional opinion on dangerous versus not?
Well, I think that in that window, the 3-year window, that if someone were to come back to the commission to look to have their dog redesignated from dangerous or potentially dangerous, they're going to have to demonstrate to the commission why. And so that would be up to them to provide that kind of evidence. In this,
that 3-year that I'm talking about, like an expungement of the record, that's not anything related to the commission. That's something that you could have filed directly with the court. People do it for citations. They do it for, I have seen it for orders come through, which that's how I know it's a thing. So if after 3 years someone does file for it to be expunged from their record, we would have to remove it if it's court ordered. It's not something that would come through the commission. Now, as far as answer Sergeant Richardson's question, the order itself is based upon obviously the incident that occurred, the severity of the incident, And Ms. Becker obviously has done tremendous work to take responsibility. The only thing that we can do is, I guess, it would be either modifications, downgrade, or get rid of the order in its entirety. We can't really add to have the dog reevaluated prior to, unless that's something that is approved by the department. It's just not it's not currently a current process.
Okay.
Thank you. Autumn, I thought that the legislation that we as the commission reviewed and made recommendations about included someone requesting that either modifications be made or that the designation be lifted, and that it would come back to the commission for that. So I apparently am not up to date on what actually got passed.
Yeah, so it's once they're served, they have 10 days to comply or appeal. Then if they appeal within that 10 days, then they get the commission hearing. Once the director makes the decision based upon that recommendation from the commission, they have 30 days to either just comply with what was decided, or they could appeal to the Board of Appeals, and then it goes to them. If they don't like what the Board of Appeals says, then they would then again appeal that to, I believe, circuit court. It's circuit or district. But you could, continuously appeal. But once it's set in stone and the order, they're in compliance with the order, or it's dismissed, that's it. Should they wish any changes, they would have to go through the actual court to have something removed from their record.
Okay. Okay, because does anybody else remember this? Last year or the year before, we were asked to review some county legislation, and what it didn't have to do with the appeal process. This was like, and part of our discussion was how many years should the owner wait? 3 to 5 years, I think. 3, 5, and 10 years, I think, were the variations that we talked about, that after the people had complied and had been in compliance for a certain number of years, and they could come back and demonstrate that situations have changed.
Like Stacy has to log off. So yeah, Stacy has to go. She has
I'm so sorry. Is there anything I can do, or?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I think we still have a quorum. We're good.
All right, thank you.
Right. So did that never pass?
No. So I'm looking at it now.
I do remember the discussion.
24.
Thank you.
It was not passed. It was removed. It was removed. Sorry, Tom.
No, I remember the discussion. I don't remember. Again, I don't remember if it passed. I don't remember where they all ended up, but I do remember having a somewhat lengthy discussion about it. But if it didn't pass, I mean, it would be a good idea for somebody to look at that. I mean, especially again for a young dog that comes into a bad situation, or again, an owner makes a silly mistake early on in that dog's life. I mean, it shouldn't necessarily have to follow a dog forever if there's things that are changed down the road, but.
Yeah, and it says, pursuant to paragraph 1, the owner may petition the chief to revise any of the conditions set forth in the order, except the designation of an animal as potentially dangerous or dangerous. A petition to reconsider the conditions of a potentially dangerous or dangerous animal may be filed no more than once in a 12-month period. But that did not pass.
Okay, thank you. That settles it. Thank you so very, very much. But maybe that's something we look at as a commission together outside of our hearings, to see if we can look down the road on that. Dogs age out of situations as well. So, okay, so back to our current dilemma. Nicole, you're up for your comments.
I'm open to a downgrade on this one based upon the fact that she seems sincere, has also seen Rachel Ash. I believe that her heart's in the right place. Not to diminish the victim dog's injuries or what that family has went through, but I believe that she is sorry for that and, you know, will not make that mistake in the future, but do believe that the dog requires an order at least for the foreseeable future.
Thank you, Nicole. All right, then, can I have a motion for either that, I guess we either uphold the DO as it is, or the possibility of changing it to a PDO?
So I would move to move it down to a PDO and keep all stipulations of the PDO in place.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All those in favor then of changing this to a potentially dangerous order with all stipulations and requirements in place, raise your hands. And that is unanimous. Thank you very, very much.
Who second that?
That was me.
Okay, thank you.
Did we lose Jackie?
Oh, she froze. It looks like. Give her a minute.
So we have meeting minutes and then adjournment.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's gonna. I guess she's
Yep.
bumped out. Let's see if she comes back, and I guess we'll give her that.
I'm also waiting to see if she calls me.
Doctors told her she has to get off the computer and get back to work.
We only have 2 more items, Jackie. Come on.
Do we need her for quorum, I'm assuming?
So Sergeant Richardson has to abstain from meeting minutes because he wasn't at
Oh.
last month's meeting minutes.
Yeah, we lost Stacy, so that's.
Oh,
there
she is.
sorry, you all. The facility internet dropped me out. I'm so sorry. Where are we?
Meeting minutes from last month.
Thank you. I had to go back and re-accept their things. So we have a motion to accept the minutes in a second.
I'll make a motion. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I make a motion to accept the meeting minutes from June as written.
Thank you. In a second. Thank you. All those in favor to accept the minutes, please raise your hands.
Richardson, you abstain.
Yeah, Mr. Richardson. All right, thank you. So those get passed. I have a suggestion, and Mr. Richardson was really great to bring it to our attention, that in the future, when we have substitutes from the police department or the health department, if Autumn, you could send that substitute the actual codes that we're going to be covering ahead of time for them, so they'll be more familiar. Thank
Yeah, I
you.
apologize for that again, Sergeant Richardson. I just was going with the motions of everything.
There's a lot going on with these cases. So you guys, thank you all very, very much for your patience to it and all of your input. You guys are also very, very valuable.
We get a
And
motion
Thank
to
you.
adjourn.
Yep,
Lovely day.
motion to adjourn. Or Tom, did you have something else you wanted to say? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn. I'll make a motion.
Okay. Second,
Second.
and all those in favor to adjourn. Thank you. Mr. Richardson, you can vote on this one. Thank you. Thank
All right,
you.
Jackie. Hope you feel better.
Have a great month. See you next month.
Yep.
Bye.
Hopefully be on your feet next month. See you.
Oh, I'm going home on Thursday.
All
I
right.
have
Well,
I
enjoy
have
it.
my green band, which means I can do anything and everything for myself all around this place.
Oh, nice.